Hello everybody, and welcome to the finale of the Kingdom Hearts Key back cover cutscene commentary. Here we have Aced sort of licking his wounds after having been trashed by Envy, and Gula is coming here to strike up a little bit of an alliance, maybe? I don't know.
Lost page?
On that page.
But yes, this is the finale of this particular story.
The master told me.
And
to find and stop that person.
So Gula seems to now believe that Aced is the traitor.
Never again, Gula.
And
it doesn't matter to me if you think I am the traitor and you want to strike me down.
As you know, we are going along this whole thing. This is sort of the end of this bit of the narrative. It's probably worth just sort of briefly mentioning some of the development-y stuff of the original mobile games. So, directed by Tetsuya Nomura, obviously, and Tetsuya Kando, who previously directed All Ends With You. Music in the game is obviously from Yoko Shimomura, although a lot of it is just sort of repurposed from previous games, and was co-developed by Square Enix and Japanese studio Success Corporation. Square Enix originally handled the planning and design itself, but due to their developers' inexperience of creating browser games, it was transferred to Success Corporation, who were familiar with that process. Despite including multiplayer elements, the game was fundamentally single-player, and the Chirithy was designed around the concept of a sporty yet unobtrusive guide, and based the design on the Scottish Fold's domestic cat, which is adorable.
Why did it have to come to this?
Due to the difficulties that arose adapting the core KH experience into a browser game, they designed it in a more fairy tale styled, instead of the locations encountered previously by Sora and Riku. And because the game was to be played with a mouse instead of a game controller, it was focused more on simple control than flashy battles. Nomura stated in an interview that work on developing Kingdom Hearts Key was paused for a time so that the developers could work on Kingdom Hearts 3. He also stated at the time that they were exploring ways to allow more fans of the series to experience the game. Ultimately, Nomura has said that, well, the stories of Kingdom Hearts Key and Kingdom Hearts 3 were both written at the same time, and so there are a lot of connections. But despite that strong link, Nomura described the title as one where the story was not the focus, and that its content was completely separate from the main series, making it accessible to newcomers. Obviously, we have since learned not quite true Nomura, but there we go. And the title itself refers to the Keyblade, which is obviously important to Birth by Sleep and following all of that. They decided to make the mobile version pretty much while the browser version was being developed. Nomura sort of wanted and planned to release them simultaneously, with each being updated individually, but as development went on, they just became focused on completing Kingdom Hearts Key, and so paused the phone version. What they sort of initially wanted to do was create a simpler version of the game for mobiles rather than browser counterpart, but obviously because mobile devices kept getting better and better and better, the workload increased, and that also caused them to sort of stop development. And also because mobile devices are obviously completely different control setup, they couldn't simply port Key to the phone. So when they did sort of eventually get to doing that whole thing, they created Unchained Key to signify that the gameplay and story was being released into a mobile format. And basically they just made the gameplay more casual, made the battles shorter, potentially easier, but obviously it's more tapping rather than button pressing.
Aced, I'll deal with this. Please keep it to yourself for now.
So, ahead of the first anniversary of the launch of Unchained Key, they rebranded it as Union Cross, which added in a new Union Cross multiplayer mode, which allowed up to 6 players to take on Heartless together. through the game's matchmaking features as they communicate with each other through emotes and text options, and you can also have a theatre mode which allows you to re-watch unlocked cutscenes and animations.
Why should that even bother you?
In September 2018, they added in a special Classic Kingdom minigame section to Union Cross. By completing certain objectives in those minigames, you were able to unlock a special Keyblade for use in Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't know when that offer ends, but I think it might have already ended, but hey, it's fine, it's only a Keyblade. So, yeah, there was a lot of sort of going on with the development of Key, but it's still getting updated even to this day, and it'll continue to be updated for a while yet, it seems. From the looks of things, Nomura sees it as sort of a way of setting up for further things past Kingdom Hearts 3, but we'll see how that goes.
Then he turned around and walked away. I see. And Gula? How is he doing? I don't know. He's gone.
So, yes, everyone is sort of falling apart, and obviously that's no fun. And can I just say that the Chirithy is still one of the most adorable things ever, and I love it.
Someone's coming. They're headed straight this way.
Take care of him. Ira? Is something wrong?
I know Gula's here.
What?
Tell me where he is.
But why? What are you going to do?
None of your concern.
Don't.
What?
I won't let you near him.
So that's it. All right. I'll go.
Gula, what are you doing?
Something happened?
Ira was here. He wanted me to give you up.
I knew it. It's finally come to this.
Come to what?
Everyone wants to know about the lost page.
The lost page?
Yeah. It's a page the Master gave me. It doesn't exist in any of our books. It contains a passage about an inevitable betrayal. It talks about the one who bears the sigil.
Now this is important.
So, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. My role is to find out who it is. I suspected Ased and went to confront him. And look what happened.
So, as I said, there is
I have enough to think about, keeping with the Master's
ultimately
teachings.
even now still a lot of
Always
suspicion and wonder about who the traitor
I'm a
is
fool for
here,
basing my actions on what is written on that lost page.
because
Everything in the passage
it's
is ambiguous.
so
at best.
ambiguous. I mean, as Kula is saying right now.
I need to find
And
out.
I think what probably most people have settled
By asking the
on
Master.
is that
He's not
technically
here
the
anymore.
traitor is
Going to summon
Master of
him to
Masters and Luxu,
What?
because
You have no
both of
choice but
them
to come back.
effectively
Summoning Kingdom
bear the
Hearts is
sigil,
forbidden.
because
That's
both of
exactly
them
why.
are wearing, the organisation
The only
coat,
way to get you
which
back is to break the
has
rules.
got
Things have
effectively it's
changed.
got an
The
X on it, so
entire
it's
world is
effectively
doomed.
got the reticent sigil
But
on it, which is obviously
in order
what
to go
we see
through with
throughout
it,
the
I
organisation,
need
all
Lux.
the names, and all of
I
that
don't have
jazz.
nearly enough.
So that's sort of
Always do the
one
right thing.
major theory that
Help me
people
with this.
have followed on, and I believe that it's probably the one that makes the most sense.
But you don't know how some Kingdom Hearts
Because
will affect
effectively
the
the Master betrayed his followers by giving them all roles that he knew would
I'm
ultimately
afraid I can't help you.
lead to the Keyblade War, and really didn't do anything to make them stop it.
May your heart be your guiding key.
But there is also a line of thinking which, to be fair, is also quite accurate in that there is no traitor.
Ghoul is
Traitor?
on a mission to
Traitor.
collect Lux.
I mean, it is traitor, but that sounds wrong, so traitor.
That explains why Aced and Ira are as well.
And ultimately,
They're trying to maintain the balance.
that is why sort of everyone just ends up being so paranoid.
That isn't the balance we were expected
And that,
to keep.
because if you tell somebody there's a traitor in your midst, especially coming from the Master of Masters,
Keyblade
then
warriors will soon turn against one another.
you immediately believe that, and therefore you then distrust everyone else around you. And then how do you proceed from there? You kind of just go, well,
If it will happen.
who is the traitor? And you just get so paranoid about everything, and
Mindy, what are you going to
that
do?
is what ultimately
I'll
leads
gather
to
Lux
war.
too. No matter
So
what, the
that
balance
is sort
must
of
be
another
kept.
of the things that you got there. Something that
Ava, you
one
do the same.
user on Reddit pointed
must.
out was
delay the inevitable.
that Ava is the
Right.
traitor because she wasn't to get involved in any battles. She didn't want anybody to fight. And in the original Kingdom Hearts Key, she's the one who strikes the blow to start the war. And ultimately, they couldn't find the traitor because no one had betrayed anybody, because the traitor didn't exist. But ultimately, when Ava strikes Lushu in that moment, she becomes the traitor, and that ultimately breaks her. And that's heartbreaking. So, yeah, even now, there are so many different theories about the traitor,
What's written in the last page
and so on
of the
and so
book is gonna
forth.
happen.
I mean, somebody else also said they're all traitors because they all deviated from their roles. So,
But Master,
there's
Isn't there anything
so
we
much
can
sort
do?
of confusion about who officially
your role.
is the traitor.
You might
Part of me
just
wonders
be
whether
the
that
only
will
hope
be
of
revealed in
life
Kingdom Hearts
next
3 or not. But then also, I don't necessarily know whether we need to. Because I think that
Master, what is it that you need me to do?
this does ultimately stand
Don't get involved in any battles.
on
Forget
its
the
own,
notion of unions.
and
Find Keyblade wielders with potential.
is just
and
a
create
generally
an entirely separate
fascinating
organization.
thing. Whether it entirely 100%
Seeds of
works
a
or
dandelion.
not is a different kettle of
Fly to
fish.
another world.
But I do like this whole
Hey,
idea of the
keep the light
dandelions
alive.
and the whole thing of keeping the light alive. It's just a
You
nice
really
thing
think
to
that-
see.
I'm the right person for this?
Ava, you're the only person for this.
I understand. Today you're here to continue with your training for our mission. This session may seem like it's familiar to you, but in a world that is different, one made of dreams, you are our hope. A war will soon wage. Those who strive to
Oh,
protect the
this
light
music. Oh, it's wonderful.
will turn their weapons on their allies.
Also, I love some of
For the
these
sake of
outfits. They're
loyalty to
really
their own
awesome,
unions.
even if some of them are just colour palette swaps.
To be honest, I don't know how far I can guide all of you. What you must remember is that anyone can lose themselves to the darkness.
Also, there's a Riku outfit.
However, there will be no winners. Everything will be lost. Except all of you who are the seeds of hope. when the time comes, and there is war, you mustn't fight, but instead you must fly away from here to the world outside. This training is to help you fulfill this crucial task. The future is in all your hands, as is the world's light. May your hearts be your guiding key.
And so, we're pretty much brought to the end of this story with the case of Lushu, and
It's not what it's called.
a little bit more information on that Keyblade and a certain mysterious chest.
Well, gazing or not, that Keyblade does have an eye in it. My eye, to be exact. Ew! Oh, you think that's gross, do ya?
No.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, about your role. You need to pass down that Keyblade to your apprentice and then him to his, so that my eye can see the future.
So the Book of Prophecies.
Bingo! The fact that it exists is proof of your success. That means you've trained a worthy apprentice, passed down that handsome Keyblade, and fulfilled your role. Congratulations! What's the matter? Come on, you did a fantastic job. At least smile a little.
But I haven't done anything yet.
Good point. Guess you'd better get started then. Unfortunately, you'll have to go alone from here on out. No Book of Prophecies to keep you company either. I can't have you causing any temporal paradoxes. But hey, we both know you'll do just fine without it, right?
Do I really have to go alone? What about the others?
Minor details, so don't sweat it. For now, you, that Keyblade, and this box need to stay out of sight. Just watch with your own eyes, and my eye, of course, as things unfold between the others. Then, when the time is right, go off and do your thing.
What's in it?
It's a secret. And, well, you see, the thing is, you can never, ever open it.
Great, now I really want to know.
I mean, this is another theory that people have with
I'll indulge you.
the traitor, is
But
that
this
it's
secret
Lushu
stays
because he
between
opens
the
the
two of
box,
us,
but
And you have to promise
God only
never
knows.
to open the box.
I promise. But why?
You'll see.
we damn well frickin' better.
May my heart be my guiding key.
And with that, reconnect Kingdom Hearts. As I said, Kingdom Hearts key back cover is an interesting one. It's got a lot of very interesting ideas going on in there. Like, it's a really kind of fascinating mystery. I do find each of the foretellers to be quite fascinating characters. I do just wish that they had a bit more development. I do wish that there was just a bit more in general going on. I wish that back cover had a bit more of a narrative throughfare, that there were some more answers. Because ultimately all that this does is just bring up more questions, and while, you know, the Kingdom Hearts franchise is no stranger to creating more questions than it solves in any one thing, I do feel that for this particular thing, we could have done with a few more answers than we ultimately got. I do think that it's enjoyable. I think that visually it's stunning and sort of among the best that Kingdom Hearts has ever looked. It's great. There's some amazing animation in here, and honestly, I would definitely be down for a kind of proper Kingdom Hearts film in this sort of style. Just obviously, if you're doing the sort of proper style movie, then maybe sort of amp up some of the things, but it still just looks amazing, and I think all of the voice actors do an amazing job. I think it is just one of those things in terms of the narrative where it's a little bit, I could have done with more. Like, maybe if it was, as I said, with what we got, it could have been compressed down to kind of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I believe. However, that said, I think that perhaps if they'd had like another half hour or so, we might have been able to maybe get a few more bits in there. I do wish that maybe they'd shown more of this sort of actual overall plot of Kingdom Hearts Key. So show the Keyblade War that you get to experience in the game. And all of that, I think that would have been helpful. But then ultimately, what we've got here is what Tetsuya Nomura deemed the important things for us to know in the run-up to Kingdom Hearts 3. So, personally, I will be quite fascinated to see how that kind of pans out in Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously, I will be playing sort of almost immediately as soon as I can get my hands on the game. Please, for the love of God, let it arrive when it should do. And, I hope that all the answers that we've been seeking for such a long time will be there. But that is the end of Kingdom Hearts Key back cover, and I hope that you will join me next time when we play the final game in the lead up to Kingdom Hearts 3. Obviously Kingdom Hearts 3 will be at that point, but hey, these things happen, and that is going to be Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. And once that's done, it's Kingdom Hearts 3 all the way to the end. So all that's left to say is thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this cutscene commentary, and I hope that I will see you next time for the penultimate game in the Xehanort Seeker of Darkness saga of Kingdom Hearts. May your heart be your guiding key.